Hey there, folks. I hope everybody can hear me because I'm a little bit on the late side here. So if you can hear me right now, let me just have somebody say hey in the question box there. I'm hoping you can hear me. Is that a yes? Can anybody hear me? I'm going to share my screen, but I need to know whether or not you can hear me. I'm on the air, it says. Okay, so I should be good. Cool. Thanks, Greg. Okay, so I am not prepared here because I just got in the door, so I'll just put a couple things up here. And let me see here. We're going to put in here speaking expert. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look here. Last time, I'm going to put up my little notepad here, and that way we can take some notes. So, right into our issues here. Again, my apologies for being a little bit late. I'm normally right on the money with that. Okay, so there are, and now my phone is ringing here, so I'm going to turn off my phone so nobody can call me. And let's talk about some things. What have I learned since last time we spoke, which is a week ago? A few different things. Let me try and see if I can give you a summary. First off, like I said, if you haven't yet done it, kdp.amazon.com, KDP, continues to provide regular ongoing revenue of about, now it's come down, it was about 500 months, so it's about $100 per week. And so from my ultra cheap domains.com and sell domains for profit.com, this one is providing me, and if we want to do it in weekly terms, this is about $250 per week. This one ends up being about $50 per week. And so all of you, by the way, can sign up and do all these things yourself. I mean, you can, and then webmarketingmagic.com is, close to 5 figures a month. So, I mean, all of you should be looking at getting involved. And so if you want to sell domains, then go to selldomainsforprofit.com and set yourself up as a reseller. All of these allow me, and then, and then I have clients. And clients are providing me with various amounts of revenue that range from very little to quite a bit every month. So there's lots of different sources of revenue, and I think everybody would it'd be a good idea to just be thinking about what other additional sources of revenue can you set up, and most important is what revenue sources can you set up that become automatic after a certain point in time. Certain point in time. And that's really what I think everybody should be concentrating on. Now, the other thing is that one of the things that occurred to me, and I'm going to be going out to New York and visiting with my buddy Bob Bly, who he and I have produced a lot of products together. Now we're redoing products. So how often, and this is a good question, how often should you redo your info products? And that's a good question. And really the answer, of course, is it depends. As a general rule, you probably shouldn't wait longer than, say, every 36 months to redo them. However, if it's time-sensitive material, I mean, you may have to redo these every 12 months, depending on what field you're in, maybe less. I mean, if you're talking about, optimizing Google results, holy crap, I mean, that could be 3 months. So, again, redoing your info products. Now, the other thing that I'm going to be doing with Bob Bly with this most recent set of programs that we're redoing is we're going to be setting up a situation where we're selling, so redoing the products. So we have info products, that's between Bob and myself, info products that are sold at retail. And then we're soon going to be doing another variation on that, which is we're going to be licensing the product, those same products. And what that does is it provides, the licensing is kind of nice because it provides a huge surge in cash flow. So let me give you some numbers here. Let's just assume that we're going to be pricing all of these products, and this isn't true, but let's make it easy, $100 each, or per product, per program, per product. And the thing about it is that if you're pricing these, and let's talk about licensing. So those are that. So that's at retail. Now, if we're talking about these same products, then we have multiple licenses that we can sell people. But let's just talk about the two main ones, which are the standard and the master license. Both of these are licenses: standard license, master license. And I want to give you some particulars about what go into each of these. So in the standard license, for an info product, we're looking at anywhere between 8 to 10 times retail price. And what that gives people is they can use the copy from our site. They can, and they can sell in either physical or digital form. The restriction is they can not change the product in any way. So this means that this product, and let's make it real easy, let's say we license this program for $1,000, which by the way we're probably going to charge less, but at $1,000 the break even becomes, if they can sell 10 units of this product, they, meaning you, the licensor, the licensee, breaks even. So then you have to ask yourself, if you have a sort of a ready-made group of people that would be interested in a product, you should always be asking whether or not the producer of the product is willing to license it. Now, again, it's it's strictly a math issue there. So check into that for yourself and decide. Now, on the master license side, just give you, so again, it's the same as all these, except I'm going to change the price here. So instead of 8 to 10 times, it's usually between 40 to 50 times. And in addition to using the copy, the one big thing there is you can sell standard licenses. So this means that if you sell a standard license, again, assuming it's at $1,000 in our example here that you can sell the license for, it means that all you have to do is have 4 or 5 people lined up to buy a standard license, and you break even on the master license. You can also sell it at retail. So this is something, and this is what we're going to be setting up for people and allowing them to either do standard licenses or master licenses. Now, in the case of a master license, don't sell too many of these, because then people start getting annoyed because everybody's got the master license. But don't sell too many. It really depends on the size of your market, but in Bob's and my case, we're probably looking for between 5 and 10 total master licenses for each product. So let's assume we go on the low end of that. We sell 5, so 5 times, let's take 50 times retail. So 5 times 5,000 for each of the products. So each product we would be generating $25,000 in master license fees. So again, this becomes pretty, because if you take what, and we're going to have probably 5 programs that we do this with. So let's just take 5 programs, and let's assume that we sell 5 licenses for each. We would max out at $125K total for master licenses. And let's just say that we sold, let's make it easy, maybe we did 20 for each of the standard licenses. And again, we've got 5 products, so 5 times 20 times 100. So that would equal 100, another 100,000, 100K. And so that would be, a nice little cash flow surge. That's split between the two of us, so we get, 50% each for that. Easy to do? No, not necessarily. But again, these are some of the things. So master licenses allow you to sell licenses, standard licenses, if you're a master licensee. And so that's what the plan is here. And every time I get together with Bob, and Bob, of course, is a master copywriter. And so I'm hoping that he can write some copy that will allow people to get them to understand what a good value this is for them, depending on what their market is and who their market is. So that's some, again, you may want to review this via video at some point to give you some real specific, things you won't forget on the differences between the standard and the master license. But that's always what I'm thinking of too. Now, in the case of my buddy Bill Deweese, one of my clients, for voiceovers, and so in his case, the question becomes, does his stuff lend itself to master licenses and standard licenses? The answer is yes, sort of. Not really big time, though, like the kind of stuff that Bob and I are creating, because his stuff is fairly well niched. Although there may be, 3 or 4 or 5 other people in the voiceover space who would be delighted to work with him and get a license for one or more of his products, and a master license potentially as well. But probably not as likely. And again, this is because of the size of his niche market. So, making money online and making money, all the various products that Bob and I have created together are very much, the type of products that would have quote unquote universal demand. Whereas Bill's is a lot more specific. So, comparing then and contrasting Bill Deweese material versus Fred and Bob stuff, very sophisticated names for all this. What's the difference? The difference is that Bill's material is very niched. Mine and Bob's is somewhat niched. It's not like diet or weight loss, because that's very open. So the net result is here, under the very niched items, you have higher potential price points. And here you have higher volume of sales potential. Okay, so therefore you've got, that's a pretty good idea of what's going on there. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me anything in the question box, because that's quite a bit of material in a short period of time, and that may be confusing. And if it is, make sure that you ask me any questions on that. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what my plans are coming up with Bob, and we're going to be recording those sometime within the next month or so. And again, we intend to have 5 programs / products and offer both standard and master, as well as retail licenses, plus sell them at retail. Okay, so there you have it. And anybody has any questions, now's the time to type them in. Please do. Okay, and then can I talk about? Hold on, Greg, 1 second. Can I talk about the success I've had with licensing in the past? Greg, to be honest, it's been fairly limited in my case in terms of my success. I haven't had tremendous success, and I think that has to do with the fact that I'm operating in a fairly tight niche market, not as compared to Bill Deweese, but my own stuff is. But I think with the partnership of me and Bob, a combination of list sizes and popularity of the people, meaning him and me, I'm hoping these are the max numbers I'm thinking here. I think that's going to be the high end. So it's going to be somewhere between 0 and 225,000. If I were guessing, I'd say we make at least $100,000 on this, I think. And that's over time. So it wouldn't be right away, but over time, I think that's so. Success in the past has been kind of mediocre. But when dealing with someone like Bob Bly, who, when you look at, he's got over 80 plus business books that he's written. I mean, that's a lot of books. And so therefore, you combine his personality, us putting this together, I think it's going to be a great package. And that package, by the way, will include the audio of the program, a transcript of the program, rights to use the copy from the site or sites. It will include either digital or physical form. And again, what we'll do here is, in the case of the digital program, that's pretty easy to do. But in the physical, we'll have this set up with one of our vendors, probably Speaker Fulfillment Services, fulfillmentservices.com, I think it is. And they will do the physical products and fulfillment. So there you have it. And that'll allow us to do that. So I hope that answers a little bit of the question, Greg, because it hasn't been that great in the past, but let's see how that works. I've been getting a lot of questions lately about, whether or not, I still, to be honest, I still haven't found anybody that is making money, exclusively from social media. Social media to help them generate visitors and people coming to their site, yes. Strictly making money, excuse me there. If you are a well-known, like, if you're a Ashton Kutcher and has, he's got whatever, 5 million Twitter followers, all he has to do is say, hey, I found this cool thing, click here and buy it. And if he sets up an affiliate relationship with those people, that makes sense. Now, that might be something worthwhile if you have a huge, massive number. I don't have a massive number of Twitter followers. Facebook is, so-so. But again, it's all about a combination of numbers and then percentage closing ratios. So it's, when people say social networking, is it working? I say, me a little bit. Not much for me. And all the stories that I hear about people claiming things, I'm suspicious because I haven't seen it myself. Now, speaking of suspicious, getting closer and closer to the date where I will show you all of my numbers as it relates to, and let me just tell you that right now, I'm a little bit nervous because I had Stanley recently give me the data on the stats, I asked him to give me the unique visitors monthly for fg.com, for Gleeck.com, and I think he did it from last May or whatever, so May through May of 2013, so 2012 through 2013, and what I saw was again, what I've been doing with this 4 times a day blogging, I'm doing this and I paid for it because I thought that it would produce a big surge in traffic. I have to say that to date, it has not. So we're now 4.5 months into this experiment because I started on January 1st, 4.5 months, and I'm going to go through the end of June. It takes me through end of June. And I'm looking to see what will happen. But right now, I can report to you that as of this point, I'm getting more and more suspicious of whether or not it really is working or did work or could work or whatever. So But again, my numbers just indicate just a very flat, no big jumps or spikes in traffic. So there you have it. And again, I don't see any of the JV partners who are on the site today, so I'm going to leave it up to the rest of you to decide how long we're going to go here, because I've talked about most of what I want to talk about. So let's see if anybody else has any other questions. Any other questions? We covered some of the things on licensing and some of the others, but it's up to you now. Do you want to figure out some more stuff? You want to call it a day? I'm open. So tell me. I will stay here for as long as you want. So I will give you a minute or two to decide whether or not that's all you want to do today. Again, Avish is not here. Bill is working. Yeah, the other joint venture partners are, doing their thing. I'm getting back together with my buddy and joint venture partner Burke Allen, who's got, I don't know if all of you remember this, but he's got publicityseminar.com, and so this one's still promoting something from back in 2010. That's not good. So we're going to have to change that. But Burke is, again, that's his thing, is media and getting exposure that way. So no questions? Okay, well then we'll finish up oh, wait. David has a question. What kind of IP protection do you have to go after? Let me just see what this question, I'm not really sure what kind of IP protection do you have to go after, like patenting or copyright? Could you clarify that question for me a little bit, David? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Are you protected? Am I protected from what? Is my intellectual property is protected by copy? I think I get the question now. So, are you safe from? Oh yeah. Well, so I mean, is your intellectual property protected? Well, there are 3 levels of copyright for anything. If you write it or record it in audio or video form, as soon as it's done, you have what's called a layperson's copyright. So if you write it and record it, it's basically it's copyrighted automatically. The second level is if you write it and record it and you put the copyright symbol, you then have a higher level of protection. And the higher level of protection is that you write it, record it in audio video form, put the copyright symbol on it, and you register it with the Copyright Office. Now you have, and by doing this last and final step, and again, I'm not a lawyer, nor do I play one on TV, but I'll give you what I think to be the rules here. If you go through all 3 of these steps, you then are in a position that if somebody takes your work and copies it and sells it as if it was their own, you're liable for what are called treble damages. And treble damages means you're liable for 3 times what you would have gotten from just regular damages. So let's say, for example, somebody stole your work, started copying it. By the way, I've seen this done, so it does happen. So somebody copies your work, starts seeing it done, and let's say they make $20,000 from doing that in profit. Regular, just if you can show they violated copyright and you can prove it, you probably get 20 grand back. If you register with the Copyright Office, you can get 60K back, minus lawyer fees, so about the same. No, a little bit more. So that's what it is in terms of protecting yourself in intellectual property in these type of info products. That's what it is. So with that, and that's a good question, David. But again, you may want to Google the term copywriting audio, copywriting video, and see what else they tell you. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I use lawyers for this kind of stuff, but I don't want to give you legal advice because that's not what I do. So, David, good question on that. Then we'll call it a day.